Welcome to the third best of 5 this evening. We're on Apotheosis, spawning to the bottom left hand side in teal, playing Zerg for Russia. It's Sunokasuri. And to the bottom right in green, this is maybe as green as it can get, doing the extractor trick, playing Zerg for the United States and Clan 1 of Pro. It's Wryza. Cuteness overwhelming due to the little chat icons that you can use in StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, sorry. And Wryza just going for the gold cheese. So seems as if Wryza was the one to pick the map, it feels. Suna in the meantime has already gone for a spawning pool and the extractor, so she plans to do some cheese of her own, maybe even expecting her opponent to take the gold hatchery, so she rather just wants to overwhelm her before she can make use of it. And it might actually work out quite nicely, since Wryza has not even thrown down her spawning pool, although her extractor will be done in just a few seconds. So then she will put some guys into gas, and will of course also try to get speed up as quickly as possible. But Suno's speed will just start in a few seconds time. So here we go. I think. Okay, just wait a little bit. Okay, there it is. So we will just have like, well, 15, well, maybe 30 seconds earlier. We'll see how much earlier it's actually going to be. And then she takes the gold off of herself. But of course, yeah, like I said, the tech will be there for Suno a little bit earlier. And probably even a few more links. So like I said before, she might actually be able to tear this base down. Or at least keep her opponent from mining from there for quite some time. While she herself might be able to actually mine from her gold base. And that could actually snowball into a really ugly scenario for Wryza here. So now speed is also in the making for her. She's at 10 seconds, her opponent is at 34, so only like 25 seconds. But 25 seconds can be quite a lot. Drones being transferred, actually a little bit late here since the base has already been done, but the lings are already on the way. And like I said before, that was obviously Sunokasuri's plan here. Just trying to deal some damage before Wryza can actually make use of that. Might even just get one drone, doesn't get it right now. There's also a few links in there for Wryza. So seems as if Sunokasuri just retreats for now, just also wants to get up the economic lead. Well, economic lead you can't really say because Wryza has already transitioned or has already transferred a lot of drones towards her gold base here and is now just using the additional mineral income in order to maybe outproduce her in lings. So Baneling Nest is in the making. Baneling Nest already done for Suno here. So we're going to go into Baneling Wars. But I don't really know who has the advantage here. I'd say Suno should usually be better with a Baneling micro because we saw her in that great series against Mitsukotse. I think that was in the playoffs of the first season where Mitsukotse and Suno just battled with Baneling only for like 20 minutes in a row. And Suno came out ahead, so that was a really great game. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. I can really recommend it. And yeah, let's see. I mean, there's only a few lings and Baneling. Suno was just heavily trying to get more workers out and just get back on track with the economy. So Wryza just taking the route over to the right-hand side will probably just pass by everything. So most of the units are now at the third base. Yeah, wanted to take the third base off her own. Will probably just be able to, well, Wryza just tries to move around, tries to counter the hatchery, shouldn't really get it. Has to be careful not to get herself into a disadvantageous position there where actually the Banelings just cut off the retreatment possibilities. So Wryza has to move back, and Sunokasuri now halfway done with her own third, while Wryza has just started her own. So it seems, like I said before, as if Suno will be able to just get back on track economically, and will then just probably transition into a hive into a lair, as soon as she realizes that her opponent poses no more threat. But the question is, how soon will she realize that? And then we'll probably transition into mutas, I guess. Or she might just want to overwhelm her opponent with Baneling micro only, which you can also do if you just think you're superior micro-wise to your opponent. Then you can just out-macro them with links make them just take inefficient trades, even if they have some banelings more than you do. You might just out-macro them and kill them. Okay, nice little try there by Wryza, trying to surprise her opponent with some sneaky banes over here. But yeah, Suno will just move them in. Ooh! Unfortunately, just does not really get them, but the Queen and the Spine Crawler will eventually just take everything out. Okay, wants to move in once more, but Wryza has to be careful, doesn't have any banelings in the mix over here. So Suno just morphs in a few more, has 16 workers in 16 links in production anyways. What the hell am I talking about? So, now she finally moves in, takes out everything. A few more banelings more for Wryza as well, but Suno realizes what's going on. Sees what's already happening, tries to maybe get one while it hatches, but doesn't get it. Okay, just retreats with her own banelings for now. Tries to bring one baneling into the fray. But Wryza has to be careful here not to lose too many of her own units. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Ling-Baneling Wars. Don't you like them? I know it's actually a terrible trade there for Wryza, just losing most of her Lings and Banelings. Okay, the only thing now left is this one Baneling over here. Could have just exploded this one by hand. But nice little movement there by Sunokasuri, getting that Spine Crawler over there to help out with the micro. And now I think if Suno actually realizes what's going on, she doesn't really need to wait anymore. I mean, she must have realized that she's actually killed a big chunk of her opponent's army. So I think she should really try to counter attack here. But like I said before, she just took the opportunity, got into lair, is now transitioning into Spire, while her opponent just has to be afraid that her opponent might, or Wryza has to be afraid that Sunokasuri now counter-attacks, so she might just be committed into producing army units in order to stay alive, while Suno's actually just chilling and droning and teching. And she can afford it because there's not much that can actually happen to her. But like I said before, I mean, I think I would have tried just a little counterattack, just leaving the Banelings at home, taking all the Zerglings, trying to deal some damage over at her side of the base. I mean, there's now 3 bases for her, and it's difficult to defend all of these, especially against run-bys with just Banelings. So I think that would have been a nice idea, but yeah. I mean, why commit if you just know I can wait for a little bit and then maybe win the game later on? But for now, actually, Wryza in the supply lead. And that's probably mostly due to the roaches, because roaches are very supply efficient. Seems as if she just wanted to do something over here. There was a red dot, but I didn't really see what it was. And yeah, Wryza just mostly committing to the roaches. They will unfortunately not be soon enough, because the mutas are already in the morphing. And yeah, that's always the big problem right now. So if your opponent actually goes Mutias, oh, Wryza has prepared for that. I mean, Wryza obviously knows what her opponent is playing. So I always love this, when players just, well, it seems like blind countering the opponent, but that's like analyzing and reading your opponent. And I really love it that the FSL actually gives you the opportunity to do that. Studying your opponent way ahead of time and then just adjust your play to it. And that's what I like about strategy games, that actually strategy can now be applied, because you know who you're playing. It's not like guessing what your opponent is doing on ladder. You can actually just plan ahead with the style a player usually has. So yeah, making her bases safe against mutas was actually definitely a good deal. The biggest problem still remains that she doesn't actually have units that can straight up attack the mutas. So she only has queens, a lot of them, but I think they alone won't really suffice. Suno actually only has to be careful not to run all of her units right into this one Baneling, but then just moving in with all of her units, maybe trying to kill off the important structures that could be dangerous towards the mutas. Just wants to move out a little bit here, so commits quite a lot of these units, but killed 7 workers in the process. So I think that was kind of worth it. I mean, Zerglings are there to throw them away anyways. What Suno actually wants to do is, like, getting more bases, getting more mutas, getting the upgrades for the mutas, and then transition into something else behind it, and eventually just whittle down her opponent. I think she could just make a little bit more use of the mutas, but again, she really can't, because her opponent is already way prepared. Lots of queens for Wryza, as well as spore crawlers. Man! Her bases are fortified. 3 queens, 4 queens. at the 4th. More... Wow, what the hell? I think Wryza could actually even take this, like with a Nidus Worm or something. Getting it close towards Sunokasuri's base, and then just getting everything out. The roaches in front, the queens behind it. Wow, I think the Mutas wouldn't stand a chance against that amount of queens here. Woo, that would be just crazy. But like I said, Wryza just playing her opponent, and I like it like hell. Man, this is just great to watch. I love this so much. So, Suno just trying to make something happen with a few mutas, has separated a few of them from the main army, and just wants to fly around, doesn't want to grant her opponent on the base, I guess. And that's actually always what you want to do. You really want to be active with your mutas. You never want to have them sit around somewhere doing nothing. You just want to check for more bases, want to just quit everything once you can. And there it is! There is the Nidus Worm, as I said before, but in the meantime Suno already transitioning into Ultras. So she does not really see what's going on there, or has to save her own base just barely. It's almost taken out. And there it is, the Nidus Worm, and the queens are right inside it. So now Wryza is here. She has a lot of queens, she has a lot of roaches. Well, actually not that many roaches so far, but more to come. And wow, this could actually be quite a difficult fight. It has to be careful to have everything inside the fray in order to fight. Well, there's a lot of lings here, so the lings should actually just, yeah, greatly done here by Suno there, just trying to surround all of these queens with the lings so that the queens will actually not be able to attack the Mutalisks, but have to attack the lings instead, getting all killed off before the Mutalisks actually even join the fight completely. Kills off everything, even kills off the last of the remaining roaches that weren't even rallied into the Nidus Worm with ease. And yeah, that doesn't look good for her at all. In the meantime, she somehow even managed to kill off that base, probably while I was talking about the Nidus Worm and was getting all excited and hyped up. She just flew in with a few mutas she had already close to the base, killed it off, and then returned with everything, which was no problem for her to do. So these roaches will get chased off easily, will not be able to deal any significant damage. And now Sunokasuri is on 5 bases, while her opponent is on barely 3, with 1 base already outmined. The main one also pretty dry. The natural also running low already, and no way for Wryza to actually ever get a base unless Suno really lets her. Yeah, just a desperate run-by attempt here, trying to get some links into some spots that might be a bit problematic for her. Yeah, just trying to buy time here a little bit, doing little bits of harassment, trying to deal whatever damage she can, keeping her opponent on the toe and a little bit back to just grant her some time, so she might just barely be able to get a base up and then defense it. But yeah, like I said, I mean, if Suno really doesn't let her, once Suno just gets some more breath and just realizes how far ahead she is, she will then just attack once more. Will probably even send the mutas right straight to the possible 4th base locations. And like I said, at that point in time, a Zerg player should never be able to get any base up at all. And that's just the slow death. I mean, there's not much you can do. Yeah, checking this base first, checking this base next, it's going to get down, and then probably just flying over, maybe even seeing how pitiful this army is, and then just taking it out right away. I think she will, yeah. Now she's in with the Ultralisk, sees that nothing is there. Expect GG to be called, and there it is. Suno takes the first game. Frozen Temple is Wryza's pick. Short rush distances. Seems as if Wryza might want to cheese her opponent. But I think Suno might be the better cheeser. Or she will probably expect it. Yeah, there it is. Pull first. Let's see what Suno is going to do. I mean, come on. She must expect that, right? Her opponent went for a gold base early on Apotheosis. Or her opponent actually chose Apotheosis. I think Wryza would be the one with a lower MMR, so it was her first map pick. And then it's loser's choice. So, okay, Suno actually even going into the more techie early pool, which is actually no problem. A really early pool does not really grant you a big advantage. I mean, the short rush distances are pretty short, but this a little bit more delayed pool should still grant you enough Zerglings to fend off early pushes with a bit of drone micro here. So it shouldn't be all too big of a problem. Yes, Wryza will have a few more Zerglings early on, and they will arrive at her base earlier on, but then it's defender's advantage from there on. And Suno will have the speed a lot quicker than her opponent. I think that actually Wryza is just totally committed. She doesn't even take a gas. Oh, she wants to get another base here. Whoa. Okay, that's just odd. So it seems as if she just wants to apply some light pressure and then go into an expansion right behind it. So she's not totally all in, but semi all in. Well, we'll see. I mean, this just plays into Suno's hands, actually. So like with this build, the the speed on the spawning pool will be so friggin' late. I mean, Suno is already starting it, while Wryza hasn't even gotten gas. And once she has it, she has to wait until she has 100. Then she has to start the research. By that time, Suno's... well, maybe she doesn't even want to start it. I think the best choice for Wryza right now would be to just get Banes right away. Just a Baning Nest with the first 50 gas. So yeah, like I said, I mean, this can cause some trouble here. Suno just has to keep her on her toes, just has to make sure that not too many links can attack it at once. And since she's also went for an early pool, she will just eventually have enough units out. And like I said, speed will just kick in a few minutes, and then she can just mass links, walk across the map and kill everything off. I mean, the timing and all the links there should tell her that it has been the pool first and that she should have an advantage over her opponent once speed kicks in. She also will have a Baneling Nest a lot sooner than her opponent, and that's what I was talking about. Wryza really doesn't actually want to wait for the 100. She wants to use the next 50 gas in order to get Banelings out, because she will never be able to catch up with speed early on. And she needs some defensive measures, and the only thing that she can actually do in order to defend this better here is just getting Banes, and then winning the Bane war and also walling off her own main. So there it is, there's the push. Suno just has the safety spine in position as well, and is now just pressing, well, it's mostly queens for now because she wants to have the additional lava. And yeah, now she's just pushing the issue. So let's see. Baneling Nest is not done yet, so Suno can just walk in. Okay, the choke point. Oh, that's also a kind of big mistake. Well, Wryza wanted to get back a little bit to get a better concave, but Suno just has the overwhelming amount of links. Will now just start killing drones. Will also kill the spine crawler over here. Finally, she also has her own banelings, and now there are no links in order to morph banelings. So yeah, I think she should have just, Wryza should have just sacrificed her natural base in order to stay alive for a little bit longer. The banes are a really problematic thing. Getting in here, getting more kills, 7 drone kills already, killing off the rest of the drones as well, even getting the queen, and that must be it, ladies and gentlemen. 10 workers have died. GG, and Suno takes a quick 2-0. What an odd decision. This actually makes me think that Wryza might have not studied Suno's games, or not thoroughly enough. She picked Galactic Process against Sunokasuri, a map where Suno is infamous for cheesing. I think I have yet to see a normal standard macro game out of Sunokasuri on Galactic Process. I mean, like I said, this is the map where she fought against Mitsukotse, the 20-minute Link Baneling micro war. And she's going for a Nexus issue. What? Like, what? Going for a hatch first. Playing the meta. Doing the mind games. Whatever it is. But yeah, that's actually going to be quite interesting. We'll see. I mean, Suno has just either Bane busted or Ling rushed or Ling Baneling rushed every opponent on that map. So, like I said, that's actually quite an interesting choice. But maybe actually Wryza was expecting it, because she went into an early pool once more, this time with gas around, and then getting the hatchery right afterwards. And this could turn out quite interestingly. But yeah, Suno just setting up everything, and again, as soon as the units actually come out and arrive at Suno's base, she should just have enough in order to stall her for a little bit longer until enough links have been morphed in order to defend this position. And the epic music just stops. And now it's silent. Whenever I see a world free of war, full of lush forests and rivers. I just want to nuke the crap out of it. So, Lings are already getting into position. Like I said before, defender's advantage, no problem here. So, seems as if the early speed, which is actually not that much earlier than that of her opponents, just a measly 4 seconds it seems. Well, actually 2 to 3 seconds. So yeah, that won't really help her as much, but Suno's base is just down, well, has been down for a little bit longer. So yeah, okay, she actually just wants to deny that Zergling the scouting information, but not really that much to scout. I mean, the Zergling will see the spawning pool wiggling, will see the Baneling nest around, but that's all good stuff that was to be expected anyways. But yeah, getting it would of course be a nice thing. Queen not really in position, so the Zergling might just get out. Okay, and now finally Suno just has set up all of her defenses. The question is, how will she lose the Lings she has over? Might just actually run across the map, sees that her opponent hasn't had link speed yet, but does now. But yeah, she can just move in, poke a little bit, see whether she can do some damage or not, and then always move out because her opponent's Lings are as fast as hers, so no risk. And Suno actually what? Suno actually goes into third base. Just making me a liar. No, actually I was just talking about past games. Couldn't really know what was going on in this game. But yeah, it was an interesting choice. I would have expected Sunokasuri to go into cheese, and I think so did Wryza. Wanted just to deal some damage of her own, and it's still, I mean, Suno is still just getting a lot of Lings here. Could, like I said, once more just outproduce her opponents. But once you see her take a third base, she usually wants to defend and go into muta play. So we'll see. I mean, she might just go into roaches this time around. Just to annoy me. Just to make me look bad. That's what I think. No, she probably just will move into her typical composition, I guess. And she has already a big advantage. I mean, she knows that her opponent has not taken a third base. Actually, I think there could be a base over here, but yeah, Suno would just see it with the help of that Baneling. So she knows definitely that her opponent has not taken it. Well, one Baneling won't really do that much. One Baneling can't even kill workers. We will see that right now. Yeah, nice explosion, but it does not kill anything. You need 2 Banelings for that. So, Ling counter pressure does not really help at all. Way too many Lings and Banelings over here, and Wryza does not even want to engage that anymore, just moves back. Has actually scared her opponent by a little bit, but the Overlord of course saw that the Lings were totally retreating. But of course you can only see that far, so maybe these Lings would still be waiting here, morphing Banelings, so you still just don't want to move out. But the other Overlord in position will also scout that the destructible rocks are being attacked, so Suno moves out right now. Might even be able to, unfortunately I think a little bit of a miss micro with just moving in a little bit further. She could have probably just cut off the retreating possibilities for Wryza and could have just easily gotten all of these Lings here, which would have already been a big success. Now finally taking the hatchery, while Suno's third hatchery has already been taken. And I think what Suno will do right now, okay, either she just thinks, okay, I can just go and kill her right now with what I have, because I've seen how pitiful her army looked so far. Yeah, and it seems as if this is what she wants to do. Also transitioning into Spire right away, but not trying to get the saturation done on that third base. So it seems as if she wants to make it end quickly. Just running across the map with mostly Lings. Okay, mostly chasing here, which is a bit odd there. I don't know if that's really the best thing to do. Maybe she was just expecting her opponent to come back with more Lings or Banes, or I don't know what. But finally she should kill just like most of these Lings over here. Just waiting until the Spire pops. She's already getting some resources up here, some gases up, the gas count up. Has forgotten to take her extractor down here. I was wondering why this was not lining up at all. This is a pretty uncommon mistake for Suno, since she plays this style very often, so she should usually know about the gas counts and everything. But yeah, mistakes just happen to everyone every once in a while, and that's where it happened right here. So less mutas, but like I said before, it might not even matter. But this is actually a considerable amount of roaches there, so not really much that Suno can actually afford with these Lings here. The roaches will just probably drive them away. Is that too far for roaches? No, it isn't. Okay, Roach is still able to drive them away for now. Okay, first few mutas are in, but less than Suno actually wanted, so she now finally just had a big round of workers being produced and has now easily saturated her base over here, so she has the macro advantage by far. If we just have a look at the income, we see it 42 against 51 with like 300 more minerals per round. And of course she should also get more gas in just a few seconds, and that's what she wants to have due to her Mutalisk addiction. So also might want to get a few upgrades going, but that's just additional thingies she will probably just start in a few seconds. And it's already looking pretty good. I mean, Wryza's roaches, again, pretty worthless for now. And the longer she waits to attack, the more critical the count of mutas will just get. Yeah, there she just flies in. Focus fires down most of the banelings. And that's actually the only thing she needs to take care of. Just slowly taking out the banelings. Once the banelings are all dead, she can just easily surround all of the army with just lings, her own banelings, and then just take down units that can't shoot air using air units. And once this army is dead, there's not much for Wryza to hold on to. I mean, she has, again, spore crawlers and queens in position, so with mutas alone, it should be quite difficult, but I mean, once she's lost all of her roaches to the ground forces, Suno can just walk across the map, kill off everything on the ground easily, like again, just killing the banelings with the mutas, then move in with the lings, and kill off the pesky spine crawlers and queens with the lings, while just moving in with the rest of the army. And yeah, just taking a fourth quite comfortably at the same time. Now just moving in, maybe even producing a few more units and sending them across the map. Has to be careful for these banelings there. Bam! Good hit for Wryza there. So, okay, Mutas just moving in. Okay, probably just wants to go with the Mutas maybe right inside the base. Okay, now just attacking again the units that can't attack back. Always a good thing to do, while in the meantime we have the lings taking care of this destructible rocks over here. Okay, Roach is just pulling back into the spine crawlers and queens, so the mutas have to retreat for now. Take out the destructible rocks over here. Ooh, queen just strays away from the rest of the army a bit too much maybe here. And it seems as if Wryza just wanted to start some sort of counter push, but Suno, having great map awareness here, sees it with the Overlord, just retreats most of the units, produces a few units at home, should probably, yeah, just keep them at home, I think. Okay, that looked like an F2 move. But whatever. Okay, now she just intercepts most of the units, just pulls back with a few units as well to finally kill off that little push. And in the meantime, she just moves in with the mutas. By now, actually, I think the mutas wouldn't even need to care about those spore crawlers. But of course, there's transfuse on these queens, and that makes it a little bit more annoying to fight against them. Gets one queen for free, gets the other one for free as well. And now finally we have some hydras out, but a few hydras alone will probably not suffice. Second queen dies as well. Now Suno has to be careful not to be too wasteful with the units over there, although I still think it does not really matter. Still wondering what the rest of the units are doing. I mean, she has a lot of lings that could actually also join the fray, but she doesn't. We'll probably just wait for the banelings to come in, and has in the meantime actually lost quite a few of her mutas here. So another possible run by with roaches. That shouldn't really work at all. Okay, more mutas over here, now just attacking the roaches. And the biggest problem for Wryza as well, I mean, Suno has already taken a fourth base, and by now Wryza is just burning away her resources on 3 bases, and her resources won't last forever, while Suno just keeps her tucked back. I mean, Wryza tries her best to apply some counter pressure, but it always gets countered. Or countered, if you want to say so. And there's not actually much that Wryza can do here. She tries to do her best. She tries to just get out somewhere, get somewhere into Suno's base, applies some counter pressure, making her forcing a few mistakes out of Suno, but Suno just always reacting like perfectly. And even these lings will probably not deal that much damage. At least she finally gets some damage done, manages to get some lings into here, maybe splits them off even a little bit too far. So, but yeah, okay, these at least get in. The Lings at home just try to deal with the Lings at the 4th base. Now the rest of the army gets in, okay, gets at least 1 queen, and buys herself again some valuable time with all these mutas actually coming back. So that was actually the first move that finally helped Wryza to maybe get back into this game once more, to finally adding a few more firepower against air into her units, because usually if you just don't have enough Hydralisks around, you don't even stand a chance against the Mutaforce anyways. So the mutas can just fly in, will just kill off the few Hydras without problem, and then just start killing the rest of the army. But once you finally manage to get the mutas out, the Hydras out, at least you have some sort of decent chance in a fight. But of course there's also the Ling and Banelings around, so once Suno just moves in with everything, she should just easily be able to clean off these Hydra forces, no problem. Like a few good Baneling hits and all of these Hydras are gone. And I actually really think that Suno's army is more than sufficient for that. I think she should just move over here, just morph everything, like almost everything into Banelings, rally some Lings behind it, and then just crush through all of this. Shouldn't be a big problem here. But by now she just flies to, she just tries to move in, take off a unit here and there. Every few units you can get is just a small victory for her, while just taking a 5th base as well, getting more upgrades, getting more units, getting the tech into Ultralisks. Yeah, no way to no reason to rush it. I mean, it's Wryza's duty to make something happen right now, not Suno. Suno is just playing all her cards accordingly, and the only thing she needs to do is just tuck her opponent back more, making sure that she hasn't taken a hidden expansion somewhere. And here we go. Oh, good baiting connections there by Wryza, actually taking out most of the forces by Suno there. Great hits there, but like I said before, most of the Hydras are down, only 5 Hydras remain. The Mutalisks alone can take care of these Hydras, no problem whatsoever. Now she finally moves in. Yeah, doesn't want to fight under these Boar Crawlers once more, so she just retreats for a little bit. I really think she's still too fearful, but of course, I mean, Mutalisks are very expensive units, and if there's no real reason to throw them away, why would you be too hasty? Ultras now coming in. These Ultras will now finally finish off the deal. There's just not sufficient ground force power in order to deal with them, especially in combination with Lings and Mutas. So here we go. This will be Wryza's last stand, and she's going to lose it. No way to take that. No way to take that force, even with like godlike micro and microing a little hard out, trying to focus fire down these Ultralisks that don't really have that good of an armor, but they just chew through everything. Mutas flying into the main base. GG, and Suno takes the series with a quick 3-0.